Hey gamers, welcome back. This is Eviee with What's Your MMO? And for those who might be joining for the first time, welcome. Some of you may have noticed that I have had videos up and down off the channel lately. The reason for that is I decided to go legit, so I had to remove the music that I had in my previous vids. The good news is, as you may have already noticed, there is music, and this music is from I Eat Pants. The name of the song is called Fake World NYC, and that's by Brian Millers. He was kind enough to give me the okay to use his music. In other news, I have started a Twitch TV channel that is now up and running, and right now my schedule's a little all over the place, but if you subscribe to this channel, I will throw something up about an hour before I'm going to do a live broadcast so that you can either join the group that I might be running or excuse me, or just watch, join in, throw things in chat, whatever you might like. I'm really excited about these next few interviews that I have coming up. In the near future, I have one that I actually did on the cuff, off the cuff, on the fly, with an Eviee player from Israel. I have one from AMK, who is with Devoted Legacy. And to start off, I have a really great interview with Nyinu, who plays an Asmodian cleric and the Israphel Server. And some of you may actually know her as Ali. She shared with us, kind of took us through from 2.0 to 3.0 to our current 4.0 patch, some of the differences she sees, and also explained to me, us, the Asmodian Faction Legion and how it came about and what benefit it has for all of us playing on the Israphel server. So anyway, sit back, enjoy, load your game up if that's what you want to do, and take a listen.
I didn't like the 3.0 content because I didn't like the solo ability of it. Everything was soloable, everything. You could solo, just about everything. I once, you 3-man Rentis, and you're thinking, okay, that's supposed to be a 6-man instance. Mm-hmm. If I can 3-man it, then there's something wrong. There's something wrong with that. If I can take a Tia Heart with 3 Sorks, KK, Gilfer, and my Sork took hearts like off and on all the time, not meaning to. We weren't trying to. We would go in a group of 3 to PvP. There'd be no PvP, so we'd stay on the deity, and all of a sudden the 4 to BFU. Yes, we would laugh, and it would be like, I didn't mean to. We'd out DPS the whole alliance. Oh. It's like, I mean, if you can take a fort by mistake, there's something wrong with that patch.
Yeah, exactly. And we've done it a few times. It was like, what the hell? And one time, actually, Karos was there, and I said, are you... I had said, are you in an alliance? He says, no, I'm flying solo. I said, okay, well, if I see you dying, I'll try to throw you a couple heals. And it never happened because I was busy with, my group. Right. But then it was over, and I totally expected it to say sanity. And Zell, who I said, Zell has sometimes his computer has issues, so he'll go scout out Petri for us. Mm-hmm. Because I made that mistake once when I did the alliance of not checking before we all went, and then people died, and I felt really bad, especially as a cleric, right? But he went over there and he let us know what was happening. So, I did not expect that when it was just Guella and I and Karos was there. I thought for sure it was going to come up and say, and I said, Guella, you realize
we just took this fort.
Oh, we get such
and
a
I think,
but that's a problem, right? In the long run, though, short of it is that's not necessarily a good thing.
Good thing. It isn't. And then, so it made people selfish because you could do that in small groups. You could do it, and it didn't hurt anything because you're still going to take it. It was so piss easy to take a Tia Heart. I mean, that you could take it by mistake. And when I was looking at the 4.0 content, I'm like, okay, things have to change. People's
Yes.
attitudes have to
Yes.
change
And
because
it's
you
been nice.
can't.
It was bound to go. So within our first 2 days of playing the 4.0, I had said to my little group, I had said, this is going to go one direction or the other. Either everyone's going to start working together and stop trolling each other, which I've noticed, I don't know, the little bit of LFG I've checked lately, there doesn't seem to be as much trolling going on.
It's a lot of good natured. It's
Yes.
far more good natured.
Yes.
I mean, I can be snotty, so it's not like all the good natured comes from me. Sometimes the bad comes from me too.
Right, but you know what I mean? Like, it used to
Yeah.
be bad, like
Hmm.
bad, to the point
Yeah.
where, I mean, I don't even leave the LFG open very rarely. And now I'm back to kind of leaving it open, seeing what's
Yeah.
going on. But, I mean, it used to be so bad, there was no point to it because you
Right.
couldn't really read what was going on because there was so much trolling.
Yeah.
It's either going to go one direction where people are actually going to get their crap together and start working together and quit calling each other bad and noob and all this other crap,
Hmm.
or there's going to be a lot of people leaving
Hmm.
because
It's
they're
true.
not going to be able to handle it.
Right.
And it's nice to see, especially over the last couple of raids, people really working together.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's so nice to have that vent where everybody can talk together.
When we started looking at what the 4.0 content was going to be like, we started seeing that these were going to be like old Abyss sieges. That's what I kept thinking, and I was excited because I thought, okay, no more of this Tia Hart stuff because that was
Yeah.
crap. That was, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. If you could take a fort by mistake, it's a problem. Um, the deity doesn't do anything. It just sits there and growls, and you kill it. I mean, it doesn't. There's no.
Oh, it will pick you up in its mouth and give you a
Yes.
steak and throw you. I've experienced that. I was like,
What
what the
the
hell?
hell is this? Yeah. No, I've had it do that to me too. But but it doesn't really do
No,
anything. It's
no.
not like the only planned sieges I saw once I returned when it was free to play. Since I mean, obviously I did a lot of sieging back at launch. Um, the only real coordinated sieges I had seen at all were the Gulk sieges that were run by AMK.
Hmm.
So when people had said to me, well, who do you think should, and I said, well, I don't know that guy, but I think it should be that guy, the blueberry guy, the AMK guy,
Hmm.
because he ran Gelk sieges and would say, okay, now we need to do this, now we need to do that. And it was very clear. The directions were very clear because I had never done them before because I had quit, right before 2.0.
Hmm.
So, I thought, okay, well, this is someone who knows how to manage a large group, not just an alliance, but a league.
Hmm.
And I thought, okay, that would be a great idea. So that when they started having meetings for 4.0 ahead of time, I thought, well, this is good because this faction was never bound together in 3.0 because you didn't need to be.
Right.
And Ants, Allie, take care of it. Allie, go to this meeting and tell me what they say. So I was surprised at how open all of these people, that all I knew with them was names, because I hadn't been on the server for very long. And, you just hear the name Extreme, Karos, Flaterina. You hear the name and you think, oh, that person, I'm not as good as them. I don't have this greatest gear as them. I don't run this big legion.
Hmm.
But they were very open. They were the conversations that they had in those meetings made me very hopeful. And this will be the group of people that makes the decisions. This will be the God voice. This will be the person, Karis is going to use his commander chat, and then we're going to have all these people here. This person's going to run the sins because they're important, and this person's going to. It was very open. And as I said to you, they're very approachable people.
Hmm.
If you have a question, you can go, and if they have they're not doing 20 things at one time.
Hmm.
Like, don't ask me questions when I'm trying to run an alliance because I'm not going to be able to answer you.
Well,
And it's the
yeah,
same thing
right.
when you're running a league. Don't ask me right now. Ask me later. But I was surprised that there wasn't ego. It was all like, okay, we have to bind together. And, these people who are running the leagues, who are running the alliances, are giving up their best chance at the medals for those sieges.
Hmm.
Um, And it's those people who are going solo, who are going in their small groups, who aren't on the siege vent, that are screwing things up like last night.
And isn't that interesting?
And they're the ones that are getting, because they go to the defenses in a 2-man group, they're getting a medal. But yet somebody like Karos is running the transformed and is not getting anything. Or AMK, who's the God Voice, is getting nothing.
Yeah.
You're not even getting mail.
Yeah.
And, the fact that there are so many people in this faction that are willing to give up forward progress on their own medals to make sure that we take something as the dominated faction, as with less numbers. They're willing to give this up to coordinate us, to get us to the point where we can have a fort. And the idea of the Asmodian faction was pretty much unanimously, everybody's like, wow, that's a great idea. That'll work. And everybody embraced it. The 7-day things you get for holding a fort they're just being tossed out. No one's using them because I think the BG of the Legion is too small of a level to actually even use them. Right. But that's something that they decided, we're not going to split these forts. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do, you take one and then we'll lose it and then you take one. We're going to, give up the 7-day things. We're going to have this Asmodian faction. We'll have our alts in it. We'll invite anyone, and that was also a decision that was made. We'll invite anyone into, whether they come to sieges, whether they support the sieges, whether they come to the alliances, doesn't matter. Anybody from any legion can ask for an invitation into the Asmodian faction and get one and be able to use that fort as if they had helped take it, even if they did nothing. And I think that's, terribly selfless.
It is. I didn't even understand that until you had said something when we were doing that siege, and I was like, I get it. I was like, this big light bulb went on. I went, I understand what that's all about now. Like, the stuff that you're talking about now is very deep and into it. It goes way beyond the surface of, playing an MMO. Mm-hmm. You're talking about something much deeper and much more integrated. And
this is the first time that the actual owning the fort doesn't just give you medals or kina. That it gives you, the members of that legion can use the amenities of that fort. Yeah. And being able to trade your relics at core value is in a safer environment is very important. Being able to run that the fort instance with a slightly higher reward. And so, I've switched to my it's a low-level Templar. I've switched to my Templar. I've invited people who I personally can't stand. I've invited them in. If I have the time and I see somebody in LFG, I'll switch. I have no problem with that. I obviously do it for my Legion mates, and I do it for people who know that I have one in there now, always for me and ask me. And I know that there are lots of people out there doing the exact same thing. And like I said, those first 4.0 meetings, I was very hopeful. Because I thought, here, I'm coming from the whole Abyss siege where you had to work together or you died. And, then I went to then I saw the 3.0 because I skipped the whole 2.0. I go to the 3.0 and I'm seeing such selfishness and it's all about me and my medal and I have to have and gimme. And I'm thinking small children fighting over a cookie. It just was really turned me off. And to see people turn around in 4.0 and be like, okay, no, we're going to put away the rewards. We're not going to take those because this is going to make us stronger as a faction.
Right.
And that's why last night was so disappointing to have, I'm hoping it was miscommunication.
I'm going to
be hopeful. I'm going to be hopeful. And hope that it was miscommunication.
Yeah, I really
And
would hate to think there'd be any drama, you know.
right.
I'm just hoping, because it's been so nice. And that's why I didn't belong to a Legion for a very long time. And then I just started my own little itty bitty one, because we broke off from another one, was for that fact. Because I was like, I don't want all the drama. I just want to play. I want to group with other people, have fun. They don't need to be in my Legion. You know, I don't care about that. The only reason I have a Legion is because the three of us didn't want to be bugged. We didn't want, none of us wanted the drama. And slowly we've picked up people who will come and go.
Right.
And we have we have quite a few people that are casual players, and we're okay with that. They're like, oh, you didn't kick me out. It's like, why? Why would I bother? You know, don't worry about it. I don't care. It doesn't make a difference, really. But I
mean, there's no reason there's no reason that all of that everybody who's sieging can't be on the same page.
Exactly.
Because that siege vent is open for those people who are solo, and it's open for those people who are in their small groups, who don't wish to join the league or don't wish to join an alliance. They can still join the siege vent and get in.
And
they
have
may
an
be put in
opportunity,
there, right,
though, to be part of the Asmodian faction, to use those things, because that was my big disappointment when 4.0 came out, and I went, oh my gosh, you guys, I said, you know, look at all this stuff that's for Legion, people who own the Legion only. I said, you know, we're never going to get to see that. And then, like I said, then when you said what you had said in Vent that day, I was like, oh my God, that's so great. And it brings, I think, it brings hope to the people who prefer to play solo. It brings some unity. Even if you prefer to play solo, you can still be a part of the bigger picture.
Right. And that may not be my way to play. I mean, you're not going to see me solo because I like people. I want to be with people. You're going to see me in a group. You're going to see me, you know, in an alliance. You're going to see me in the league. You're going to see me doing these things because that's what I enjoy. But I think that our faction is big enough to embrace the people who do that, and the people who are more selfless, like those people I named, who could get the high DPS and could get those medals, but are giving it up to help us take things as a faction. And then there's also room for those people who are still playing 3.0 and are still a little selfish and still are all about their medals and about their forward progress. I think there's room really for both extremes and everybody in between.
Right. Yeah, and I totally agree. Totally. And the reason why there is, again, only the three of us, and the reason we chose that is because it just seemed, like you said, I think, it was just before 3.0 or just as 3.0 that we broke away from the Legion we were in, and it had gone, it's no longer there anyways. But because we weren't elitists, and it seemed like there were so many Legions out there looking for people who were strictly geared, and you must be here at this time, and you must show up for the siege, and you must be this, and you must be that. And the three of us were like, well, Zelle's got school, I have children, and I worked nights at the time. I needed to sleep. I know it's hard to believe, but I did sleep. And Gwella works 6 days a week. So it was like, where do we go? Like, where do we go?
Right.
And that's why we had, you know, again, just gone into our own little group. And we're tight. We're tight.
Well,
that's what happens over a couple of years, right?
That was a fear. That was a real fear with, because I'm also I love the forums. I'm always on the forums. That was a fear with people seeing the whole, with the Legion that takes the fort gets these amenities. That was a big fear with people because they're like, well, I like my small Legion. Or I don't want to join one of the big Legions, so I'm never going to see content. I'm going to be blocked out of it. And I think that the way our faction has bound together, and I think we might be the only ones who are doing it. I don't think there's any other faction on any of the other servers that are doing it the way we are. I know our Elios aren't. That without a fort rotation, we're not doing that. Everything will be taken in the Asmodian faction. I think that we, because I don't want to say we because it wasn't me who came up with the idea, but the people who came up with that idea, and then the rest, everybody else who said, yes, that's a great idea. Yes, we support that, made it to alleviate that fear that no,
Oh,
we're
it's
not
wonderful.
trying to we're not trying to absorb all of the little legions into us. Although at the end of 3.0 there was a lot of power plays like that. I don't know
Yes.
if you noticed. There was a
Yes.
lot of, some of these legions who had never recruited anyone were suddenly like, our doors are wide open. We would love to have you, because they were jockeying for power so that they
Yes.
could start taking these forts.
Yes.
And I think that the people who are shaping the faction, and it's not just one person, and it's not, it's a big group. I think that they like took it away and said, okay, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to try this here, and let's see if this works. And so far it's working really great. And
Oh yeah, it's been really nice to see the turnouts.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it's just because it's the new thing.
No.
The only, like I said, but we go to Tia, I noticed that I don't know if you remember, but it was like the same thing, like 30 minutes before the fort went up, people were getting together, and now it's like 2 minutes until you fly, and I'm hitting invite. And I'm like, wow. But I mean, I think it's important that we're doing what we're doing here, but it'd be nice if that can slowly start to go back so that people who may be new to Aion don't get that selfishness feeling from the content of 3.0. You know what I mean? Right. It'd be nice if it could, you know what I mean, flow back and pull those people in, so as their tune matures and as they, get into the game more, it would just flow right over into the new content. So that would be nice if, once this gels more and becomes quite solidified, if they could then take the Asmodian faction and move it back to some of the 3.0 stuff, I think would be a really good idea.
Yeah. I mean, I know that's one of the things when I'm leading an alliance, I try to be very aware of, there are a lot of people who don't know where they're going. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to get where we are. There's going to be that one day when we couldn't get you in. Oh my gosh, Eviee. I was frantic. And that's because one person of my 24, like one of my little ducks, couldn't get with me. Yes. And I kept thinking, how am I going to get you here? How am I going to get you here? Break out, get an SM. And that's how we figured out that you can't summon in there. I mean,
I know, the hard way. But I had a good time sitting there most of the time dead, just watching him squirm, running by. And I even so much just breathed off of that safety there. And I was so dead. They were mad. Oh, were they mad? Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. And I got to tell you, okay, you got more coming now. You better get ready.
It was helpful. But I know you've been in my alliances several times now. Yes. And I try to be like, okay, no, you can do this and be safe. Yeah. Go from here. The first time with you, I didn't even know what I was doing. And I was winging it, and now I feel like I know, okay, I can get from here.
And now you have to watch that map, because part of the trick is when those little camps change. Yeah. Because you were telling me to go, and I'm going, but I think it's I'm talking to Gwella going, I think it's the wrong color. I'm pretty sure I shouldn't go there. Yeah, I'm dead. Yeah, I shouldn't have gone there. Okay, I won't do that again.
But I think, we've all kind of learned. I mean, after that first siege, I don't remember who I spoke to. I think it might have been AMK, where I said, you probably don't want to hear from me. I'm really kind of a no one, but here's a suggestion. And he's like, nonsense. You need to stop saying that. You need to stop saying you're no one, and you need to, if you have something to say, you need to just say it. I'm like, okay. We need to have like explicit directions. Go to here, go to here, go to here, go to here. We can't just have. And apparently there was supposed to be, but somebody had worked late, so that's why the second time it was much easier.
Yes,
I think it came out much better.
And that was part of the learning process though, right? Like there's a learning curve for sure. You know what, guys in command there, don't sell yourself short. Whatever you do, do not sell yourself short. That you have the charisma, you had the organization, you had let people use your vent. Like that is also huge. And because of you, you were able to show us that we can work together. But we needed someone or someones in this case that was able to pull everybody in and together. And obviously, like you said, I know you were talking about how 3.0 is more selfish orientated, but I think at the same time we were all so tired of it that because it certainly wasn't hard to get everybody to go under one roof.
I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, yeah, I understand why you would, but at the same time, I was so happy. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. But you know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, they had no problem, really.
Right.
You know,
well, I think all of these people were waiting for the game to go back to the way they liked to play it. All those people in the command vent, I think all of them were sort of marking time during 3.0 when like you said, LFG was full of nastiness. It was all directed against Alaril. There was, just nasty.
Against each other, Legion mates against Legion mates. People were flipping legions like every second day, and it was like, wow, like.
And I think, like I said, I think that group of people that you see, I think Blondage is in there as well. Felix, Semtex. You see the names in the I am AFK is there. Gigi is there. Latarina, AMK, Karos. I think that's it. I think I've got everybody. Yeah, I don't want to forget anybody. If I forgot somebody, it's my fault. I'm really sorry. I'm no one. But you see them, and I think they were all waiting. I think that group of people were, as I understand it, maybe not all of them, but a good portion of them were very big in 2.0 when you needed coordination. And I think they sort of hibernated through 3.0, waiting for the game to turn back from a solo selfish to back to the faction game that it started at launch. So
my big question that I like to ask everybody, because you've obviously played other games as well.
Yes, quite a few.
And you went to Guild Wars 2 for, let me guess, about 7 months?
No, it wasn't even that long.
Oh, you didn't stay the 7 months?
What? It's a beautiful game. It is just beautifully coded. Everything is just fun and slick and interesting, and it's moving from thing to thing, and you can choose what you want to do. It's all about choice, and it's wonderful. And then you get to the end, and it's just like, I have nothing to do.
Yep. That's what I've heard. It's a nice little distraction, I've heard.
The PvP was just great. You could do small groups, or you could choose big groups. You could do Zergs. You could be 3 people, and you could make a difference. It was wonderful. It's 24 hours a day. Anytime you wanted to. The whole game was about choice and just this and this. And then you get to the end, and you're like... As an Aion, I'm always like, okay, so I finally got my 3rd piece of AUG 2. Now what am I working on? You always feel like there's something else.
Oh, there's always something more. Because as Ralster put it, there's always somebody better, right?
Yes.
But what is it about Aion that has kept you coming back all this time? What is it that keeps drawing you back?
Oh, wow. It for me, it's the faction. For me, it is working as a faction with people that I always said for sieges, this is back pre 2.0, I always said, you don't got to like the guy you're sieging with, but you're only together for an hour, so suck it up. And I think that's what I like about this game, that for sieges and things like this, you have to work together. And that's why 3.0 kind of turned me off, but 4.0 is so much better for me. That you have all of these people from different places, from different walks of life, men and women and younger and older and middle-aged and everywhere around. And people with different education levels. But they all come together as a faction to persevere against this other faction. And I think that's what does it for me. I think that's why Aion will probably always be my game, because that is just such a unique, and you just don't find it like it is here anywhere else. Any of the other games that I've tried, even games that have factions, they just don't. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like this.
In this life that we make up, are you let down? Do you give up? Are you let down by me? In this life that we've made, this fake life that someone made up in their heads and gave to us. We all try to climb up, but they throw rocks at our flesh. We all think the same shit. We all dream the nightmare, this fake world on a movie screen. We watch as our lives break up. But one day, if we stand up with a fake smile, we could wake up. The real world is just too much to take in for all of us. We all try to climb up, but they throw rocks at our flesh. In this life that we make up, are you let down?